Everybody, welcome to another episode of Grind Culture Podcast. I am Ed.
I am Colton.
And today, we do have a guest today.
Heck yeah.
Which I will be introducing here shortly. However, again, I wanted to thank everybody for the questions that you guys submitted last episode. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
not only doing that episode, but editing that episode.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know, as time goes, it seems like we're letting a little bit more loose. Mm-hmm. Like with not only our personalities, but the conversations, topics of conversation. It seems like we're getting more comfortable.
Yeah, it's more relaxed and settled. And
yeah. So it's cool to see that we're finding our footing in a way, with our podcast and just how we're growing, not only like in viewership or subscribers or whatever, just growing ourselves into like how comfortable we are when we could talk back to one another, just go the back and forth, chit chat, anything, so
yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see. But without further ado, I wanted to introduce DJ, who we've mentioned so many times on this podcast. Yeah, I don't even know if you even listen to the podcast or anything.
Bits and pieces. I have a weird thing where I can't listen to people that I know.
Yeah. So you probably won't listen to this back.
Oh, definitely not. I can't watch anything that I record myself in.
Well, I wanted to bring DJ in. DJ is an important figure in our lives, work and outside of work.
Yep.
I've gotten to know DJ the last 2 years. He's been working here. When did you start here, DJ?
February 2022.
February 22.
Like 2 days before Valentine's Day.
Do you have any recollection of when DJ started? Did you hire him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hired me.
Yeah. How'd that go? How did that process go? Because I don't even think I asked, like, you were obviously looking for a job, but were you looking for something in coffee in particular or no?
Nah, I was just trying to find anything because it was peak COVID basically at that point.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, in all honesty, it was just applying for everything and anything at that point. Because slight background with me, my degree is in exercise science, kinesiology. So my industry was just shut down. So it was kind of like at that point, let me just go find something.
Let's not be modest here. You're a master's degree in kinesiology.
Sure. I have a master's in kinesiology. So yeah, I basically was just trying to find work at that point.
Yeah. So, and what do you remember about him? Like, were you guys, at the time when you hired DJ, was it a lot of people being hired at the time? Or were you just looking for just one or two people?
I was looking for two people, I believe. And it was DJ. And then I ended up hiring this other guy, Tim. I think, is that when Tim started?
Tim was right before, like 2 months before me.
So Tim was right before you.
It was with Davion.
Oh, Davion.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Some of the names, some of these names I don't know, but I've heard the names. I've heard Davion before. I heard Tim, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
good stories.
Was that during holiday or when was that?
No, so February. So right after. So that was kind of like our slow season. But I think we had a few people drop out after the season. So I was looking for somebody to kind of start filling in, not only on production and lead up production, but also to take over like front roles. And we just needed like an extra body there. Yeah. Because like I had my stuff going. Cameron was helping me out with my stuff. And then we needed somebody else to kind of like help in the areas that we were all missing. Because who was working the front when you?
Tim, I think, right?
Was it Tim? So it was like,
I think he was the only one that was doing front at that point.
Yeah, so we didn't really have anybody in that like role, like putting orders together and labels and working with printers and the computer and just like that front role. We didn't have somebody that was like super stoked about it, and then we also didn't have somebody that felt confident there, and so that was like a void. So yeah, I hired DJ after our interview. And it was funny because, and if I'm just going to be honest, like during mine and DJ's interview, I like the guy, but then like, I think you took like a phone call in the middle of our interview, and I was like,
he's like, yeah, something emergency.
But it was like work related. It was an emergency. He's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, oh no, it's all good. But I was like, kind of like giggling.
That's a power move right there, dude.
It was like, I forgot what it was, but it was only something that like I had to take or else I wouldn't have taken.
Yeah. And you established that before, but it was just fun. It's something that
I think I even went into the interview and I was like, I unfortunately have like this phone call that's gonna come in and I have to take it. Like I can't reschedule. I think it might have been something housing related, or I can't remember what it was, but it was something like I needed to take it and I couldn't push it, or else I was kind of gonna screw myself over.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's all good.
So I was like,
don't worry
I was like, it is what it is. Like, unfortunately, I was like,
that's so funny because you had an intimidating presence when I first started, just because if there's one thing I could really describe DJ as far as like his work ethic goes, like he does everything. I always say this: you're really fast at what you do, and you're very attentive to detail as far as like not making any mistakes. So when you're on, right? And you were obviously doing that when I first came in, and I don't want to say you were reserved. You're just like really focused in what you're doing at the time that you're doing it, and you do it like very quickly. And I don't think you want to break character when you're doing that, because then it just stops you from doing anything efficiently the way that your own standards is to what you want to do, I think. So when I first came in, obviously like DJ had a personality and Cameron had a separate personality. So Cameron was very outgoing, and then DJ is outgoing when you get to know him. But when I first met you, it was like, yeah, I guess intimidating in a way, just because you were just so focused on what you were doing.
Well, just like the no BS, like hard work attitude.
Yeah.
Which is like actually what I saw when he applied. I was like, oh yeah, this guy gets it. And then not only that, but you had like experience in like the drop shipping field, like with ShipStation and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, this guy, he's not here to mess around.
No.
Like, you are overqualified to be here. Just like you were, you know, like I mentioned before, I was like, I don't know if he's going to take the job type of thing. But then when you guys both did, I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, his qualifications led him to be a assistant manager, which is what you do now, on top of being, as Colton mentioned, the front area. And for those that don't know what the front means in our business, which we had discussed briefly, how would you describe your position here as far as like the front end, opposed to like managerial stuff?
If you're just doing the front end, I'd say it's kind of the first step of the process outside of order acquisition and everything like that.
Yeah.
So once that comes into it, depending on your role. So in my case, sometimes I do the print also for myself, but for the most part, someone will do the print for you, so it's already ready.
Yeah.
You come in and you're organizing the orders, what it goes into, labeling it on the right, on the right color bag, everything like that. So you're just kind of getting everything organized and set up, so that way when it goes onto the production floor, that it's correct and they don't have to worry about me messing up on that side of things. They just need to make sure that they're fulfilling it correctly on their end.
Yeah. You obviously did production when you started though, right?
Yeah. I started on production. Everyone starts on production because you got to kind of know that role in order to understand this one, in my opinion, at least well.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
I kind of got catapulted into the front because the other guy was quitting. Like, I think only like 2 months after I started working. And then
you got a new
someone
job
else had left like right before that too.
Right before him. Yep.
So we had lost like 2 people that were basically in front of me. So I just kind of...
It was like a quick move right to the front, yeah.
So after like 2 or 3 months, I started kind of splitting time between them.
Yeah. And coffee related, what was your coffee background before? I mean, whether work-wise or just like recreational or just hobby-wise or just at-home-wise?
I drink it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I figured that was going to be your answer. And has it even evolved since working here, or would you say it's like just relatively the same?
I mean, I got an expensive coffee machine at home that most people probably wouldn't ever buy on their own.
Yeah.
I enjoy coffee. I can tell the difference between it, and it's something that like I still like on the weekends. Me and my girlfriend, we go to coffee shops and we drink like that, where it's not just your standard coffee shops, but I wouldn't say my like field goes any further than that. It's more just consumer related, and once in a while, like I guess from the fitness side of things, caffeine and kind of all that kind of stuff, like I know about that, and I knew about that obviously with my degree going into it. So I understand that side of things with it. So technically speaking, I guess, that side of as well. But as far as hobby, like doing anything else outside of it now, it's mostly just strictly consumption related.
I know you have something similar to Colton where you guys were both physical trainers at one point. Is that right? Were you a physical trainer ever?
Was that your brother? Was, but I'm nowhere near DJ's level. I just got the job at a gym, and I pretty much sold personal training, and then I did a little bit of personal training, like hands-on, but I did more like sales of the personal trainer, and then I would hand that person or fit them with a personal trainer that was like good for their needs.
He's like the fitness manager.
And what were you?
Like what his role technically was. I was like the head personal trainer at my location. Well, started off just regular personal trainer and then moved on to like head personal trainer. So it was just kind of basically a manager of the trainers who's underneath the fitness manager, basically just the lead kind of.
Did that prepare you at all for like this job at all here, or as far as like managing or anything goes?
I mean, I'd say that was the job that probably brought me out of my shell as far as being super reserved, because I don't seem like it, but I used to be like super reserved, super in my shell.
Yeah.
But that job, it's like you have to conversate the whole entire time. If you don't,
You can't help
they
it.
hate you. Like, they don't want to go in there and have someone just yell workouts at them the whole time, you know?
Yeah,
So,
they need a motivator.
yeah. Someone that's, I mean, really that job is more like therapist than it is physical aspect. You have to just listen to their problems, kind of let them vent. It's a getaway for them. So I'd say as far as like directly translating to that, it helped, because now as far as anything that needs to be said or done, I don't really have an issue with it. Like I don't get kind of reserved about it or like worried about it. It's just I know that it has to be done or anything. And then I guess maybe the work ethic of it, because I was going to school in an accelerated program full time. So I finished bachelor's and master's in like 3.5 years.
Dang. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I had to do everything accelerated because I kind of messed around in JC.
You did the mess around?
Yeah. Did the big mess around. And
How would we all?
but I was glad I did the mess around at the cheap price versus at university. So, So I messed around it there, and I was like, man, I got to get it together. So forced myself to do that. So I was doing that full time, but then also training 12 to 14 hours a day. So I'd get there at 5 a.m. and wouldn't leave until sometimes 10 p.m. when we closed. So I was just doing schoolwork in between and everything. So I guess that's kind of why I directly translate to that grind here, because it's just, I'm so used to it for so long over there that it was just kind of like, oh, this is just how you work now.
Yeah, that's one thing I think, Colton, you and I can say about DJs. He definitely has that grind aspect that we talk about so much here.
Yeah.
That's probably what you see. I mean, you being like the head manager and having the most experience here, that's probably what you look for in employees, is something like a chip on the shoulder like DJ, or just like, or something like mine where like we're just here to work, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, gosh, man, like DJ, I respect you so much. Like, cause even when DJ's like working, and he'll even like convict me when I'm not on top of my game. So DJ's someone that like brings that energy to like the team, and like it's just really cool. Cause like even if I feel like I'm sluggish one day or not totally motivated, DJ's there and he like brings something to my attention. I'm like, I gotta snap into it. Like,
yeah.
Like even this morning, I had so much stuff going on. I had like 10 things going on. He's bringing me all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I gotta wake up. Like, this cannot be like a slouchy Monday. I gotta get stuff done. So, so it's really cool to have somebody like on that same page as you, and then also just like honoring you as a leader. So it's like, it's so good to have like people like that under you, supporting you, and also like pushing you to be better, and not just like letting you be you. Yeah. Because DJ's not scared to tell me like if there's anything I'm lacking in.
He's not scared to tell anybody.
No, and I freaking love that.
Yeah, so do I.
It's just like a no BS type mentality, but it's also not mean. It's like professional.
Yeah.
And then he's also not dumb. He's freaking very smart.
Yeah.
So it's just like a well-rounded like worker. So
where do you get your like fast production from, by the way? Like speaking to just like your work ethic.
I think it's just, honestly, I think it was just, well, I started working at like 13 at taco shop with my my best friend in high school and everything like that. So I've always been working. I had to like keep occupied because I stopped playing sports and everything, just kind of quit everything when I started in high school. So I just found something else to do. So I think I'm just used to always working for something or working towards something.
Yeah.
But really, honestly, it was that accelerated program with school. Like,
I guess so.
Like having to do, in general, that's like 6 years of work, and having to get it done basically in 3 years.
Yeah.
It was like, if I didn't basically study or do homework for like 5 hours a day. It was, you miss 3 weeks of work in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was like always like super strict schedule. Thursdays was like a discussion post. Fridays was this, this was this. Cause I did it online a lot. So that's what it helped. I didn't have to drive. That's kind of why I was able to do the schedule I had.
Yeah.
But it was honestly a lot. That's why I took a break after I graduated, because it was like, man, I'm so burnt. I was so dead by the end of it.
Did that help you at all? Like just, I mean, I'm sure that busy time in your life, it took away from a lot of things that you were able to do and like experience. But did that break help at all after you were done with school?
It would have if COVID didn't happen right after that.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really bad timing as far as that goes. Mm-hmm. But yes, it was helping up until that point, because I finally felt like, all right, I can relax, because I was still living at home at the time. So I didn't have any other bills outside of my regular bills, that like car and cell phone insurance, the regular stuff. Mm-hmm. Nothing housing related. I still was on parents' health care at the time. So it was like, I didn't really have much to worry about. I could take a break.
Right.
It wasn't like it was affecting my funds that much. I had saved basically everything.
Yeah.
I wasn't in a relationship during that time, so it was not like I was spending money on anything else. Mm-hmm. It was just everything was getting saved, because I knew I wanted to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I was, by the end of it, when I was doing like my master's thesis and stuff, I was just like, just dragging, and I was just so done with it, so much so that I didn't even want to like work in that industry when I finished, because I was so burnt out.
Is that part of the reason why you're not in the industry now, you think?
No. Well, I mean, obviously the first initial excuse is still COVID, because the gym's just like, unless you adapted, and California was super strict with COVID, like extremely strict with it. And so gyms were like outside in parking lots. People were like freaking running on treadmills and stair steppers and stuff. Yeah. Like it was crazy. You're just seeing like people like just out in the parking lot. It's like summer, 110 degrees. So there was no training going on. It was, you had to adapt. You either had like, you were lucky and had like a home gym and you could get people to come to you, or you had somewhere to go, like a private facility that was, because we have a few around here that maybe they were still facilitating it, legally speaking.
The Patriots.
Yeah. So you either had that, or maybe you already had an online presence.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's really popular now, is like online fitness training and everything like that.
Yeah.
But that was still in its infantile stage. So someone coming from me, where I had stopped training for the last maybe like 6 months of it, I lost most of my clientele, because they obviously have to go somewhere else. They either go to another trainer at the gym, or they move gyms, or whatever it may be.
Do you miss it at all?
Yeah. I don't necessarily miss working in it. So my brother owns a gym, kind of like how Colton, same kind of thing. His is more people come in. It's more just all individual training. So he owns a gym, and I like vicariously like see him do everything, and I'm like, man, I at least got to work out, because like it's just like the activity level has dropped a lot, and and he's right down the street from us. Like I pass him by every day when we leave.
You got to go, man.
He actually offered me a key, so
he did.
We can actually all go. Like it's just straight up after we leave. I can unlock it.
That'd be awesome.
Go. He says no one's there for like 2-hour break.
Really?
In between, right when we get off, we just have the whole gym to ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a key from him so we can start doing that.
I would love to go.
Sponsor.
Yeah.
Grind culture.
What is the gym called, by the way?
That's a good question.
You don't know?
They changed names because he has 2 different owners, like with him now.
Yeah.
He was something else. I think it's still Olympus Training.
Olympus Training.
But
sick.
They've changed a couple times now. I haven't even been in since they finished decorating it and everything. So
yeah.
Well, let's get a workout.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So we talk about that. I mean, Colt talk about that all the time, is our fitness goals or our lifestyle goals, our health goals. And if I could get like you, Colton, and DJ to work out with me, I feel like that is, like you said, people just want to get motivated, and people just want presence there. And sometimes it's like kind of a bummer to go to the gym by yourself.
Yeah.
And put your headphones in. Like you could only listen to the same like audio mix so much, or listen to a podcast so much, and just do the same workouts. But if there's somebody there like telling you what to do, or what kind of, especially a physical therapist, and you that has a brother in the industry, same with you, like.
Well, it's funny. We both come from like the gym background, and then we both have brothers.
Yeah.
We're both gym owners.
Yeah.
And it's just funny.
Yeah, you guys have. It's funny you bring that up because you guys have a lot of commonalities in which, like, where did you grow up, by the way? Did you grow up here?
San Diego, Mira Mesa area.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Kind of split between both. First, like 9 years there.
You guys have not that I get jealous about it, but I notice that you guys have. I don't feel left out about anything, like as far as like managerial goes, but you guys share that managerial presence where it just fits you both. Like, it's not a good cop, bad cop kind of thing, but it's just like a yin yang thing where you guys have similarities in that aspect that we just talked about, just like background and like kind of like those little knick-knack things here and there, but you also have differences where like both of your guys' presence work in this place so well. You guys could talk to Brian different ways, discuss different things with Brian, discuss the different things with each employee, where like I think that's what makes also this work is Colton's presence matching your presence, and you guys are always around to answer any questions, and you guys have similar answers, but you guys could communicate it in different ways. So I think that's another reason why this place works so well.
Yeah, it's a good balance.
Yeah,
for sure. And that's kind of like what I was talking about. Like, just, I think we're both like able to pick each other up wherever we're lacking. And then we're not scared to just talk to each other. That's like the biggest thing about, like, I'll just call it co-managing almost the shop. Like it's all about just transparency and being honest and not being scared to like talk to each other and be like, hey, like, let's do this. Let's, you know, have them do this. And we also just like even us, not just us two, but us three, like we all kind of shared that bond in the beginning stages of building this place outside of this little room. So it's like we kind of all know the hustle towards it. It's not like you guys came in after I did like all this work, you know, by myself. It's like I was already going there, and then you guys just kind of like joined it. You saw it, and you see like the vision, and you not only see that, but you see like where this place can be, which is kind of like infinite. Yeah. You know, after like, you know, we get stuff down, and it's a slow growth, but you guys see that. So, and then not only that, but like we share outside values, you know, with family, relationships, just like money in general. I think we just see like how it should be managed, and I guess how we can be wise with it. You know, we just see like, I think in that sense, if you agree, like just like the life aspect of work and play, family, relationships, all that stuff. So it's really cool. Yeah.
So you just brought up your relationship. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but I also wanted to talk about like you helping your girlfriend and her family with the business that they provide. That's another thing. Like I have so much respect about you is that you go, even though you seem like you're reserved at times or like you're very focused on what you're doing, you don't shy away from like helping out family or like helping out a friend or giving advice, kind of like Colton, which is another thing I love about you guys in particular, and why I think I enjoy coming here and waking up here and just like getting to work with you guys. But back to DJ, could you touch up on like what makes you so family oriented? Like, were you guys close as a family when you were little? And like, cause you translate that to here almost, and you also translate that to your relationship with your girlfriend.
I don't think I would say like me and my family were really close growing up. Like as far as like with my parents and brother, like especially my brother. Yeah. We had like 4.5 year gap. It's not like huge, but it was basically like as soon as I'm done with middle school, he's starting middle school. As soon as I'm done with high school, he's starting high school. So we were never close to that same wavelength. So as far as me and him, same exact interests. Obviously it's like little brother looking up to big brother, but it was me looking up to my dad. Like we all love playing video games. We all love playing soccer. Obviously me and him had the fitness aspect. My dad hates the gym, but really? He hates lifting weights like with a passion, but he's at least doing it now because he knows he needs to kind of keep his body strong. Right. But yeah, we had a big disconnect, I think. We're a soccer family. Like I said, I stopped playing soccer going into high school. I had a lot of injuries, but I also just had bad experience with it. I took a long time to grow. So I was like entering freshman year, not even 5 foot yet. I was still like 4'11".
Oh, dude. Yeah.
So I was like, it was impossible to keep playing soccer and like the positions I wanted to play or was good at.
Yeah.
When people don't even need to jump to get the ball
Right.
or anything. So it was kind of like at that point I wasn't getting played just because I was at a physical disadvantage, not because of a skill thing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of discouraging at like 12, 13 years old, just to be like, because you were short, you're not playing is essentially what it came down to. It's like, because you're not physically strong enough, you just sit on the bench.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of burnt out of it. Whereas my brother just kept playing and he just kept playing. He kind of grew at the normal rate. He's 4 inches taller than me now, so he got the height gene that I did not.
Yeah.
So he never had that issue. His was more, he was just too skinny. But he always kept playing, and all the focus kind of became doing that. And it was like, if I wanted to spend time, I had to go do like the soccer thing, go on the weekends, travel soccer, everything. And I was just burnt. I didn't want to keep doing that. And it was just kind of like depressing. I didn't know what depression was, but it was like depressing to constantly just have that be my identity, like the soccer family. It was like I wanted to break away from it, so I just played video games all day, sat in my room, just kind of depressed.
Yeah.
Without knowing it. But obviously, as an adult, once I kind of grew out of it, never really had issues with my parents or anything. We're like really close now.
Yeah.
I'm the one that they're closest with. Not that it's anything against my brother. It's just kind of, I'm the older one. So, it was always the first one that it was go to for this, go do for that. So I think I just appreciate like having people that care, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see it when you hit your downs and your lows. And that's like when I hit my lows, I could see who was there for me, who cared for me. And it was like, man, you got to appreciate that, because regardless if it's blood, whatever it may be, the people that are there because they care,
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of translated into my attitude, whether it's with my girlfriend, her family, because I care about them. It's like, I'll drop whatever I got to go do and I'll go take care of that. Like at the inconvenience of me, I don't care if it's not going to affect my life other than something that I wanted to do. I'll go do it. Like, I'll go drive to the airport. I'll go drop you off. Like, that stuff doesn't bother me at all. I'd rather go do that because it's helping that person or whoever it may be, you guys, anything like that. If you guys need help, I'll go help move some furniture, whatever it may be. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I'd rather go help that person because it alleviates them if it's not going to, like, sit there and ruin me, Like, why not?
Yeah.
Is kind of how I look at it.
I do see that. Like, it's not a thing that I bring attention to often, because you and I could talk about so many other things other than like family. I mean, we do talk about family every once in a while. But you just going and helping your girlfriend's family with their business, with like, it's obvious that you don't find any return in helping people, specifically them or anybody else. Like, I commend you for like stuff like that, or I commend stuff like the things that Colton and Brian do for people. It's just like, again, that's another reason why like I love working with you guys, you and Colton in particular, is just that you guys make it seem like family here. And I see that a lot when you go and help your girlfriend and her family, opposed to just like not doing that,
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you want to mention her story at all or anything?
That's all right. Okay. I think it's so hard to like actually find it out without spelling it. Maybe we can put it somewhere
for sure.
Where it's written down, it's easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she does stuff on TikTok and Shopify and stuff like that, where she makes custom shirts, and her dad does a lot of woodwork. He's retired military, so he does a lot of military stuff, but also other stuff outside of it. Engraving cups, wooden stuff, everything. So it's cool. Maybe we'll drop something down. Yeah,
for sure. Just give me the handle or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Going back to working here, so we kind of established when you started and like how you moved up to a manager and the position that you're at now. What wakes you up in the morning? Like, what makes you come here? I know obviously we kind of touched base on that a little bit. That's like a normal thing. we touched base on that a little bit, just like you having a good work ethic, and it's just you trying to focus on school allowed you to have focus on your work in general, no matter what it is. But like what wakes you up in the morning? Obviously paying bills and all that stuff. So living here in California, you kind of have to work, but it seems like it's so much more than that for you. I mean, I could be wrong, but like what's your interpretation of this place? Do you like being a manager? Do you like the people that you work with? What wakes you up in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, I love working here. It's, it's super relaxed. It's my technical first on paper manager kind of position. I've done a lot of lead stuff in the past, but it's the first one where I'm actually a manager. Makes it easier here because we don't have like a huge team. So it's not high stress compared to what it could be when you think about manager in maybe Amazon or something like that, where you have 500 people underneath you and it's just number pinching, you know? So it's a little bit different. But because it is tight knit, it doesn't feel like you're managing in the sense of like people. You're more managing the process of what's going on. That's kind of how I look at it. I don't necessarily think of individual in a sense. It's more of just keep the whole process going. So it's like if we have to fill in or pick up the pace somewhere else, it is what it is. Yeah. Just go and do it. But other than that, I mean, it's really honestly, I don't look at getting up any other like different than any other day than like on the weekend. It's just you get up, you do what you got to do. Yeah. And it is what it is. Like, yeah. I don't look at it as a negative or positive or anything other than that's just kind of what your life, like that's what life is, regardless if you're working a job that you're employed by or you self-employed or anything. Like you still have to do something during your day. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, this is the thing that I'm doing. This is what keeps me occupied from the X amount of hours that I'm here. Go home, have that routine of do whatever I got to do there. And then it's the next day. And you just appreciate, honestly, waking up. Like I've had a lot of like family members pass away younger than they probably should have. But it's kind of like, it's an appreciation of life of, hey, I woke up, I'm feeling good. Yeah. Let's just go, just keep on working and keep going and be happy that you woke up that day and just appreciate that day for what the day is and then move on to the next day.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
And can we just talk about DJ never takes a day off?
I was going to bring that up too.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to. I'm gonna have to force you one day.
Well, that's what
I know. I'm about to have to. I'm capped.
Yeah. You got to take a vacation or something.
Yeah, you deserve it.
I might do it for my birthday.
Yeah. Put me up there, dude. I got it. I got you.
Watch your kids.
Speaking of,
kidding. Doesn't have kids.
Yeah, no kids, no family, no, not married yet.
No, not yet.
But, and as far as like future goes, do you have any goals with this place or outside of work? What are your extracurriculars? Like, do you strive for anything right now, or are you just taking it day by day?
I mean, I always have goals. I think if you have to strive for something, you have to have some sort of goal instead of just mindlessly going day by day, because then you kind of get lost in it all,
For sure.
Same thing I tell Brian when he asks, like, where do you want to do? It's just like, I just want to keep helping this place grow.
Yeah.
Like, it's just whatever position I need to be in, whatever I need to do. Tell Colton the same thing. It's like, just ask and I'll do it. Because like sometimes I don't know what needs to be done, just because some stuff is just doesn't get to me yet. It gets to me later, but I'll ask in advance because it's like, I'm free. I have time. I might as well keep it occupied. I'm not going to milk it. Let's keep doing something else. Keep working, because I hate being stagnant. Same. I get lazy when I get stagnant, and I don't like that feeling. I like to just keep working until I have to clock out, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
So as far as that, that's the goal, at least with like work, is just keep helping this company grow, because as more the company grows, we grow, and that goes for everyone that's on the team,
Yeah.
Yep.
You see that too?
Yeah. Same type of way. But I also want to mention, like, DJ, what he's brought to the process of this place has changed it dramatically.
Yeah.
Like, without DJ, without you in that role, it would not flow like this. And I'm like, we would not be where we're at without you, like, taking the time to do the little things. Like, even like the printers alone that print all of our labels, like, you have mastered those. Like, you have got to know the printers, you have made sure like all the colors coming out. Like you just know, like anything you do, you kind of like take it and you see like, okay, what's the best I can do with this? Where before it was just a printer, right? And we would just like push print and like if it came out bad, okay, whatever. No, you're like, okay, it's not coming out bad. How do I fix it? I fixed it. Boom. This is like the best. Or the computer and like the way the computer flows and like just like the setup, like everything you do, you're just like very involved in it. And to go like even back to like your family, like the way you invest your time and relationships into those relationships. It's like I'll ask you a question about something, like how it'd be about somebody, and you're like, oh, and then you'll go down this line of like you've already like researched like where, when, why. I'm like, dang man, this guy's like he's so involved in what he's doing. And it's not surface level, and it's like you just care. Like so, it's like if you have something in your brain, you got to know everything about it. Like, even if it doesn't matter, like you still want to know everything about it. And I would like really respect. So
yeah, I have a kind of like an obsessive kind of like thing with it. Like when I get involved in something, I like to know all of it.
Yeah.
To make my girlfriend mad because she says that I'm a know-it-all, and I'm like, no, I just like to know what I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't care about like everything, but like if I'm gonna learn it, I want to learn it. And so that's kind of even how I got into my degree. It was like I started really working out 3, 4, 5 hours a day, where I was just like, all right, I want everything. And I just was like, hey, I'm just gonna do my degree in this.
Yeah.
And ended up getting a master's in it just because I enjoyed working out and just getting obsessive with every single biomechanic and like how to move the body correctly and what to do and yada yada yada. So it's like I know I have that personality, and I try to taper it back with certain things because there's some stuff that it's like, who cares about like knowing about that? Like it gets to the point where it's like it's just useless at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm just wasting my time. But yeah, I definitely have that kind of like obsessive need to figure it out, because if I don't, I'll just continue thinking constantly, and I'll like worry about like I'm like I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I'll go and like try and figure it out.
All the spelling mistakes that we fix because of
yeah,
DJ.
that's another thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like DJ, it's such a gift. You know, it's like we take everything to. It's like if I have a question, like a random question about anything. I think like last week even I had a question about protein powder. You know, just like out like random. I was like, DJ will know.
Yeah.
You know, so go to DJ about it. Like it's just who you are.
So one of the things that DJ and I have in common, we have a love for San Diego football Chargers.
Sadly,
which now translate to Los Angeles football Chargers. But DJ is my thesaurus for everything football. Yeah. So I admittedly use DJ to either combat or to have my input into either my friend group or my brother as far as like Charger football news goes, or like anything else really, because like you and I have common interests in like music and football and sports in general. But DJ, like you say, you just want to know everything. So when you make an effort into knowing something, you share it with me because we have common interests, and so I reciprocate that information by sharing that with other people. That is also, I talk to football or music or whatever. So I use DJ as like my football news guru because I see you all the time. Yeah. Like we see each other all the time. We're see each other more than family, seems like most times. So I don't know. I see that. I see that like when you put an effort into something, you don't half-ass it. You actually just go for it. Yeah. And you put in the time to research it. Even with my tattoo, I asked you and Colton, like, tattoo artist, go give me some information. And I ended up going with the tattoo artist that helped, I think, your girlfriend. So yeah, it's just I do go to DJ a lot too for certain. I go to you a lot for certain things, and I go to DJ a lot for certain things. That's, again, grateful for both of you, even like being able to give me the time to put in the information that you guys know, or even like help me research something. Yeah. So anytime like I get to help you guys with something, I go, yes, it's my time, baby.
Yeah. I just want to add, like, I think when DJ's like lucky enough to be a dad one day, I hope you're a dad.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of those dads.
Hopefully soon.
You're going to be a great dad, dude.
I'm going to be too obsessive.
No, you're going to be a good dad. Like, trust me. Like, just knowing how you are, you're going to be great. Like, you're going to be like, I need to master this dad thing.
Oh, I'm going to have it all down. Fanny pack with like 30
dude.
pockets. Yeah, ready.
Car seat has to put it in right. Freaking diaper changing. Just
Yeah.
faster than on production.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll be a great dad, dude.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Going back to coffee, I wanted to ask, I just had a random question. Oh, did you drink coffee when you're going to school? Those 3 years, were you drinking coffee?
Yeah. A lot of it was like energy supplements first because I was still doing the gym a lot.
Yeah.
So it was like pre-workouts and everything, but it was just too much caffeine. And I was like working out at like 11 or like midnight. So I was like, I couldn't keep taking 250, 280, 300 milligrams of caffeine at once and like expect myself to go to sleep because I was like, oh, cool. I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and it's 1:30 and I'm getting home. And so it's like, I had to start tapering it off and just like drinking coffee. But it was at that point, it was just like Keurig, whatever the heck my parents had, you know, just drinking that. And I didn't really get into anything specialty coffee related until I started working here. I didn't know anything about that world. Coffee was a means to an end, really. At that point, it was just consumption of this gives me energy. I need energy.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite coffee here?
Probably it's between like our Ethiopia and Kenya. I'm much more on like the light to light medium side of things because I do like pour overs or like Americanos and I let them sit for like 3 to 5 minutes to where it starts to get to that, not room temperature, it's still hot, but that's when like the fruity notes really start to come out a little bit more than being at like the super high extraction temperature. Yeah. So that's normally what I end up doing. Make that, let it sit for a while and then kind of just savor it then. And so that's normally why I tend to go towards those like light medium-ish.
Or that or you're taking decaf home for your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I remember to. Whenever he texts me and go, I don't have decaf. Buy it at Costco.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention about DJ is he is very, very funny. He makes me laugh like consistently throughout the day. Guy. And I think that's, he's a fun guy. When you say that, he's a funny guy. Yeah. I don't think once you get to know DJ is a very outgoing person, very, very funny, very personable. So yeah, I think you're a hidden gem in the fact that once you break out of your shell or you allow someone to really let them into your own life, you're a very funny and personable person.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think I have like a filter.
Yeah.
Because I know my personality can rub people the wrong way. Just because I'm very upfront, can be abrasive to some people, which I understand. So just me knowing myself, I think I always start off with that just like grind, kind of quiet personality. Obviously I can do it a lot less in a manager role because, I have to be effectively communicating with everyone and anything like that, that's totally fine. And also, I'm not on the production floor as much anymore anyway, so it's not like I'm constantly interacting. So I think I do understand, like, I put a filter on because my humor isn't everyone's humor, and that's fine. Just like, not everyone clicks with everybody. And I've had plenty of times in the past where, like, I know that person doesn't like me. Not necessarily at this job, but, like, in past jobs or something. Like, I know that they don't like how I am. Yeah. And to some that bothers them, to me, doesn't bother me at all because I'm just genuinely being myself. Now, if I was being rude or something else like that, that's completely different. That's not cool. Yeah. But like, if you just don't like me for me, I can't do anything other than just be cordial. Yeah. And so it slowly breaks down over time because I'm like, okay, I can be a little more relaxed and, my humor and maybe my personality won't always fit what I need to do for being a manager. So I have to find that balance of like, this is what needs to be done for managerial aspect and work culture and everything like that. And then like me joking with my friends outside of work is like a completely different thing. Yeah. And that's fine, but I think that's just part of being responsible in your role and just knowing that like, hey, that's not appropriate for work, basically.
Right. Yeah, it's not like we work on like a construction site, Yeah. That's a whole different, talk and.
Yeah.
no filters there.
Yeah.
It's like we're in a professional establishment. We got to honor who we work for.
Yeah.
And the standards they have set. So
yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Anyways, yeah. So DJ, I think when you train, I'm so glad that you don't train person. I just want to get back to this. Do you have a favorite job like here? Do you like the front? Do you like roasting? You like production? What do you like to do here?
I get too hot too easily, so I don't like roasting.
DJ's the AC king.
I'm always hot. I run like 10 degrees hotter than I should.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that. I just constantly am running hot. So even the front right now, I get blasted every time the coffee drops. So I'm glad our AC is working again because it's perfect now.
Yeah.
When the AC works, it doesn't matter at all. But when it breaks, I feel like I'm back in my kitchen. Okay. But honestly, I mean, when you don't do production, Colton has said it, we've talked about it. When you don't do production for a while and you get to go do it again, it's so nice because you're not doing anything except for production.
Yeah.
You're not worrying about anything else. You're not doing inventory. You're not worrying about X, Y, Z, number wise, whatever it may be. It's just like, see coffee, pack coffee.
Yeah.
Like, like it's just, you get to just go and just be free and just grind on that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's fun doing that when you don't do it for a while.
Right.
I think when you do the same job, like for me, I don't feel like I'm like doing anything crazy when I'm in the front.
Yeah.
But it's just because I'm so used to that routine now. So like when someone else goes in there that's learning it or whatever, you obviously can tell the difference. But for me, it's like, I don't notice it until it happens. Yeah. So it is nice to do production, but you know, I like the front too. I like auditing things, as you like to say. So it works with my personality of like finding all the things and trying to constantly make it more efficient. And what else can I add to this role? You know, obviously because I'm assistant manager, I have more responsibilities now, but that was always what the issue was before. It was like, hey, I'm done like 3.5 hours early.
Always.
And I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
So it was like always finding something to do. Now that I'm in that assistant manager role, it's okay, go fill in there, go do this, go do that, which I like. I like having something to do, regardless if it's not something that is my normal responsibility or what would normally be part of the role. I appreciate always having something to do. That's why I even ask you, do you need help with media or whatever it may be? Because it's just like, just give me something to do and I'll do it. You know, that's just how I am with it.
Yeah. I have one more question. Before I ask the question, do you have anything else that you want to bring up? I was going to kind of end it off with the question I think I wanted to ask DJ for a little bit, but.
No, I think just to add on to the last statement that he made was like, I think that's why we're all such a good team, because we all take on a new role, we master it, we implement it in that same amount of time, and then we have that time to build, to grow, and to just create. So I think that's really what works for Brian too, and why he likes it so much, because he, you know, we have this structure that just like we don't have a cap. It feels like it does for like a day or two, you know, until we master that skill, and then it's like, we're back to normal. Yeah. You know, and then we have this time. So it's really cool just to all be like learning and growing together. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
So my last question is, I know you don't have a coffee company, where I think, 3 of us do now, and you've been here the third longest out of anybody, not including T. Would you ever want to start a coffee company of your own?
I know I wouldn't put in the effort that I need in order to grow it. Yeah. And so again, because of my personality, I wouldn't want to just settle for being okay at it. Yeah. Not even like from a sales aspect of it, but from like a design aspect, everything. So I avoid it because I know it would become something that is, it's not healthy for me. I'd rather just be like, okay, I can step away from it. You know, I can still worry about my manager stuff and everything like that. But I feel like if I did, it would be like, there's my second full-time job of always like worrying about that. And I guess like, if I was in a position where like it was like really necessary for like something else, like another income or something, then maybe I would think about it. But then at that point too, it's just kind of like, I can just go get some other like nighttime thing or whatever it may be, if like it was really necessary to kind of do that. Because obviously you guys know it's not like this instant startup, make all your money, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long grind. It's a slow burn. And that's great because it's like basically investments, you know, same kind of thing. You invest into it. But with me, it's like, oh my gosh, I would have to invest all my time. And I would get too obsessive with it. And I'd rather spend that time hanging out with friends or family or doing my personal hobbies or whatever it may be. Because the trade-off just doesn't become worth it, in my opinion, for me and how I work.
Fair
just
enough.
because I can't turn it off. It just will go.
You know, you would do good at it.
I know.
Your sales would go like triple R's.
But I just couldn't.
It wouldn't make sense.
That.
What would you call it?
Oh yeah, what would you call it?
If you had a coffee company, I got any ideas?
I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
What would be like the, I guess like the presence of it, like the theme.
I'm not very creative. I think that's also the reason why is because like obviously my brain is more that logical side.
Yeah,
it's very much that structured rule kind of side,
books kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where some of my problems happen in life, where it's like everything is always like needs to be structured and there's no like fluidity. It's always so rigid.
Yeah,
and I've obviously gotten better as I got older, but like I don't have that creative side. So like even when my girlfriend asks me for help with stuff, I'm good with like maybe colors and stuff, but like as far as putting the design together, it just doesn't work in my brain. It doesn't like form. I can't like get that creative aspect of it.
She would be good at it though.
Yeah, so she's great. She's I think eventually she really wants to do like wedding kind of stuff like that. Not necessarily planning, but like a lot of the decor stuff and everything. She loves doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think like since I've been with her, that stuff has rubbed off on me. So I do feel like I have that side a little bit more, obviously, but that's just not me.
Yeah.
I just naturally don't gravitate towards that, like planning parties or stuff like that. Like I'm the type of person, go tell me what to do and I will just crank everything out and just grind it. Like I'll go be the labor.
Yeah.
Just don't make me think. Like don't give me that responsibility, and then if anything goes wrong, like as far as planning wise, I'm absolved. I just did what you told me to do.
I get that. Well, yeah. So again, DJ, I wanted to thank you for coming on our episode, making an appearance, because we talk about you a lot. So it's nice to show the audience who DJ is and put a face to the name. And if we're going to have you on again, obviously you're a big part of our lives. Like I said, we're family here. I see you guys more than I see my own family sometimes, most times, because we're here all the time. Like DJ, you're here every day, it seems like. So
yeah, I think, and we mentioned that before, like the relationships we build here are so important. It's 'cause we spend life together.
Yeah.
Like we do spend more time together than our families.
Yeah, you definitely do.
So again, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
That was another special guest episode of Grind Culture Podcast. Until next time, y'all. Peace.